Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jayden and Jolka. Joining me is Jolka.
What's going on, guys?
Former DDT Ironman Heavy Metalweight Champion Shane Price is still out this week.
He's still milking that injury.
Yep,
Notice
still.
we haven't seen El Grande Americano this week either.
He didn't, yeah. So, but Shane, he did contribute. I have some notes from him, but he also contributed our collar and elbow this week.
Oh.
What are your favorite matches from before you were born? So this is also our Make Jolka Feel Old segment of the week, because we have ours.
Wow, we gotta go back.
Yeah. Because what year were you born, Jolka?
86.
86. Oh, wow. So you don't got a lot. You only got like one, maybe two manias to work with. Like, that's how far we got. Yeah, a few Starcades.
Yeah, it was. Wow, all right. So if I'm going then, I'm going to have. Man, I bet. Was I alive for Andre Hogan?
80. That would have been 87, I think. The WrestleMania 3?
Yeah.
That would have been 87.
All right. So I can go
I have mine. Hardy's versus Edge and Christian versus Dudley's TLC WrestleMania 7.
Fuck you.
That was a couple years before I was born. Let me see, what else do I got? I had a few here. We've talked about it before on this pod. Brett Shawn from WrestleMania 12, one of my favorites. A match that I don't think gets talked about enough, Triple H Cactus Jack, No Way Out Hell in a Cell match from 2000.
I was at that show.
Yeah.
You weren't even born?
Yeah. Taz versus Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka, Anarchy Rules 1999 ECW match that I love. Also, like, let's see, some other really good ones. I know I had a couple others I thought of when I was texting Shane about this. I know just a few months before I was born, Kenta Kobashi versus Mitsuharu Misawa in Pro Wrestling Noah at Navigate for Revolution. This one actually. The first Hell in a Cell with Taker and Shawn Michaels. That's a great one. And Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA. Steel Cage I Quit match from Starrcade. I think that's 85. That's one of my favorites. Have you thought of any? Because I go with Shane's list here. He's got Mitsuharu Misawa versus Toshiaki Kawada from 1994. He said that's his number one favorite from before he was born. Other contenders here, Akira Hakuto versus Shinobu Kandori.
Bless you. Man, that's still after I was born, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to go with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
From 85. All right. And then Shane also said just any match featuring Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka from before he was born would be in his. So,
I don't believe either of them had a match before I was born.
No, probably not. Probably not. So there's that. News this week, not a lot happening outside the ring. We did find out the G1 Climax participants, but we'll get into that more next week when Shane is back. But we don't usually talk NXT, so I just threw in here. What did you think of the Mariah May name change to Blake Monroe?
I hate name changes.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to get behind. It's real hard to get behind.
Yeah. I know why they do it. You know, like this all stems from like 93, 94, whenever Hogan goes to WCW and gets to be Hulk Hogan,
right,
and have the red and yellow and, you know, be the same Hulkamania that he was in WWE.
Same, yeah.
Like, whenever that happens, that's when WWE's policy became like, if you come here, we're gonna change. There's exceptions, right? Jericho was never changed. He was still Chris Jericho from WCW. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, just a few off the top of my head. But for the most part, you come to AEW, or if you come to WWE, we're going to change your name so that we own your gimmick, so that we have that.
Oh, absolutely. Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, they changed Bryan Danielson to Daniel Bryan. They've changed all kinds of people. So I think it's kind of okay. They're still playing into the character. They're kind of playing, like, it seems like she's going to be kind of the in-between of what her character and Tony Storm's characters were in AEW.
Right.
I think that's where the Monroe comes from. It comes from Marilyn Monroe, because it's like kind of that 50s actress thing. And then I don't remember where I heard this, but apparently she has a niece named Blake. So like maybe that's where the Blake part comes from. So I mean, it kind of makes sense how they got there with the name. I think it's it's a very NXT name.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously. It's like, oh yeah, yep, that's on the, like there was, Shane and I reference this all the time, but like 6 months ago, there was this like list, quote unquote list of possible NXT names that were leaked. And like Osiris Griffin, who is now in NXT, was on that, and a bunch of people made parody lists. Blake Monroe could have been on the parody list. Like somebody could have come up when someone's thinking of NXT names.
Right.
That might have been one of them. On AEW TV this week, just 4 things I want to hit. Swerve and Ospreay went to a 30-minute time limit draw. It was just an incredible match. I wanted more, but then, of course, the heel group that the Death Riders are, they rob us of more. They rob us of the overtime, so I thought that was great. Okada joining up with Don Callis, not high on it. I loved the beatdown of Omega. Omega puking up blood was an incredible image.
Yeah.
He didn't need to puke up that much blood. It was a little extra, but, that's Kenny Omega. He's going to take, do everything to 11.
I mean, if he used one of the blood capsules, that little capsule holds a lot of blood.
Okay.
There was probably some real vomit mixed in because that is disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever bit into one of those before.
No.
Don't ever do it for your first time live in front of a crowd. You're not expecting it.
Yeah. So I see why Okada's going to join up with Don Callis, because then promo-wise, Don Callis can help Okada along in the feud, since he's a second language English speaker. Like he's, and I don't, like, it seems like Don Callis has been involved in everything with Kenny Omega for years going back now, and so I feel like we could have split off from that.
Right.
I don't think Ospreay or Omega really need to be involved with Don Callis anymore. He needs to find his next target or whatever. So
right.
We'll see, though. I thought Bandito versus the Beast Mortos was pretty great. Pretty great lucha match in there. And then Queen Aminata versus Tekla. This was supposed to be kind of a big showcase for Tekla, but a lot of people, including myself, have been really praising Queen Aminata in this. Like, she was hard hitting. Like, everything she did looked incredible in this match. And Tekla looked great too. Like, it was, it's wrestling. It takes 2 to make the match, good. So
right.
Tekla looked great too. It was really interesting that, like, the purpose of the match was to showcase this new hire Tekla, and it kind of, for a lot of people, is opening their eyes to Queen Aminata, who's been there for years.
So it kind of overshadowed him.
Tekla, and so it's interesting. We'll see where that goes. Queen Aminata could be, she could be moving up in the women's ranks now. So we'll see where that goes. On a WWE TV, SmackDown, we saw Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, and Alexa Bliss all move on in the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. What did you think of those choices?
I think they were good.
Think they were good?
I think that was those were good matches.
So I believe it is going to be Orton versus, let's see, I know it's Cody versus Jay, and it's Orton versus Sammy. Those are our semifinals this week. And then Bliss is facing Asuka, and Jade will be facing the other Raw winner. Oh, Roxanne. She'll be facing Roxanne.
Yeah. Asuka and Alexa, I think that's going to be match of the week.
It could be. They have a lot of chemistry together. They were a tag team for a time there. Like,
yeah.
I think that's better. Roxanne Jade could be a bumpy match. Could be a rough one, unless it's just like Jade squashing Roxanne. I think that's probably if Jade is the winner they want, that's probably the best way to go. If it's Roxanne, I don't know where they take it, but it's just 2 very different wrestlers that I don't think really fit well together.
Someone's gonna have to if it's gonna be Jade Cargill losing, somebody is gonna have to have stepped up and cost her the match.
Yeah,
You know what
either
I mean?
Judgment Day needs to get involved to help Roxanne, or something like Naomi needs to get involved to hurt Jade.
Right, and I'm just wondering. I thought of Naomi too, but how much sense does it continue to Naomi, Jade?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Bianca. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe there's a twist here. I don't know, but we'll see. Or Jade could move on from that, and it could be any other heel on the SmackDown roster.
Right.
You know, Orton and Sammy will be a banger. Cody and Jay will get the WWE crowd excited. I don't know how excited I am for it, but the people in the building are going to be hyped for it on theme songs alone. You know,
Yeah,
like just those two pops are going to be huge when we get there. So at this point, so Cody, Jay, Orton, Sammy, who would you most want to see be King of the Ring?
That's hard. I'd say Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think Randy and Cody are great for that. Like there's reasons to add everybody, right?
Right.
Jay, the reason is obviously he's just super over. He sells T-shirts. He sells glasses. Same reason he won the Royal Rumble. Same reason he won the world title. Cody and Randy, it's that these guys are already Hall of Famers. You do it so that at the Hall of Fame, that can be on the graphic with the resume. You know, it's X-time world champion, X-time tag champion, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring. I think if Randy won, I think he would join Lesnar and Sheamus as the only people who have won King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, and the Royal Rumble. That's kind of like this accomplishment trifecta that they have. Nobody else, because there's a lot of people from well before Money in the Bank could even be an option, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to think it has to be people who either won at the very end of King of the Ring. Edge. Edge is also in that group. Edge won all three.
Yeah.
So it's Edge, Lesnar, Sheamus right now. Orton could be the fourth. Cody, you just asked it to his list of his resume of stuff. And then Sammy, I think, makes the most storyline sense if Gunther will still be the world champion at SummerSlam.
I mean,
because they've been telling the Gunther-Sammy story for years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
so
Sammy's the one who took the Intercontinental title from Gunther.
Exactly. And then Sammy, even before that, Sammy was the one that trained up Gable for Gable's opportunity at the title. And then Gable couldn't get it done. Sammy was the one that did.
Right.
You have, and then, this time, Sammy potentially be having to get over that hump because Gunther's even bigger and badder now.
Oh, yeah.
So for Sammy to have to face that challenge again, I think it's a really great way to renew the rivalry.
Absolutely.
Plus, just, I don't know, King Sammy, I think, would just be just a fun time. I think everybody would love it. You know what I mean? So I think I most would want to see Sammy, but I don't mind Orton or Cody either. On the women's side, we have Asuka, Roxanne, Jade, and Alexa. Alexa and Asuka would be two good ones to build the lineage of Queen of the Ring, multiple-time world champions to add to that lineage.
Yep.
And then Jade and Roxanne, it's kind of more trying to make a star.
Yeah.
This is two very different things. This is, kind of the Lesnar case of using, or same for Sheamus, kind of using King of the Ring to try to build somebody up versus kind of the, I don't even know a good example off the top of my head, but instead of using it to you put on an established guy.
I should have said this before, but they better not put King of the Ring on Jey Uso. I do not want to see him.
Well, it doesn't make sense because, how many times are we going to do Uso Gunther?
Too many already.
And, if you're going to do it, you have to make it interesting somehow. You know what I mean?
How do you make that interesting, though, after all this time?
I quit match.
I don't know. I still would rather see him wrestle.
Still rather see him wrestle as anybody else.
One.
Me too. I'm just saying, if they're going to go that route, if they're going to have to add some stakes.
Yeah.
And I quit. Not only is that for the title, it adds the stake of your pride and your having to actually go out there because like part of the story has been Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso.
Right.
So like I think that's the only logical way to do that match again. But at the same time, Cody versus either of Gunther or a rematch with Cena makes a lot of sense. Orton rematch with Gunther from last year's King of the Ring final, or another match with Cena at SummerSlam, which I believe SummerSlam was where they had their first one-on-one match, if I remember correct, like 07 or something.
Yep.
So you could do that, and then Sammy obviously going after Gunther. I mean, Sammy Cena would be a fun time too, but if he wins, I think the obvious path is the Gunther match because there's already a story built in there.
Right.
And it keeps Cena open to do whatever at SummerSlam, even if that does end up being a coat. Because we could, this is WWE. Like it doesn't have to make logical sense. Like Cody could lose in King of the Ring and still get a shot at Cena at SummerSlam somehow. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I mean, we'll get to Goldberg in a minute, but like, what has he done to deserve a title match in kayfabe? Like.
Oh, absolutely nothing.
His like 3 of his last 4 matches have been losses contending for titles or something. Like, why does he get another one? So there's always the WWE will just put it together anyway kind of loophole.
I wonder how many posts Bret Hart is going to make about this over the next month. Like, hope he doesn't.
Won't post anything personally, but every interview he does until Saturday night's main event, someone will ask him about Goldberg.
Oh, yeah.
Because also, I think he has, like, publicly praised Gunther, too. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Bret has, I mean, thousands of people have. But, like, I think Bret has.
Bret's one of them.
But publicly, praised Gunther, too. Cena and Punk had another great promo on SmackDown. I love, like I said last week, and, like, they continued to show on SmackDown, I love that they're blending reality here in an interesting way that we haven't really seen before, because a lot of the examples you think of them blending reality, it's more like a drama sense. Like it's more of like the one that always comes to mind immediately for me is Edge, Matt Hardy, and Lita.
Right.
Stuff like that. Or like, you know, blending in Triple H and Stephanie McMahon as a couple. Like blending reality, it's more kind of personal stuff, right? Interpersonal stuff. But they're blending in Punk's social media presence into the reality of the story from a time when, like, the tweet at The Miz about the blood money covered dick was before he even came back to that Fox like panel show, well before he stepped foot in AEW. Like, this was from, like, his hiatus era.
Right.
So they're bringing, this was like, that was never intended to be part of the show. That was just him tweeting his real feelings about Saudi Arabia and about the WWE's partnership with them. And there's a whole thing, let me find if you want to know, like, kind of part of the problem with this whole Saudi Arabia thing, there is a great YouTube channel that I am, like, completely blanking on the name of right now, because they don't put out a lot of videos. It's called Search Party. They did a video about sports washing in Saudi Arabia, which is something that they have been doing. Yeah, it's called Why Saudi Arabia Wants All the Sports by Search Party. It's just a 15-minute video about what they're doing and using sports as a political chip to cover up, you know, bad things they're doing, you know, slavery, killing journalists, stuff like that. Right. And that's kind of what Punk was speaking up about in a very aggressive and, you know, not really sportsman-like way.
You got to wonder what his Saudi Arabia trip is going to be like post that.
But them blending in this, like, Punk's real personal values and him having to break that and kind of addressing the entire hypocrisy of Punk being in WWE to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially those first few years out of WWE, all he did was talk shit about the company.
Right.
And then you know, when there was no other option to wrestle on such a big stage, he came crawling back.
Yep.
Right? Because it's he famously does not drink, does not do drugs. Wrestling is his vice. He is a wrestling addict, so he had to come back.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So,
If he's not doing that, he's just going to be home in the ring. Just that's how he works out.
yeah. So that's kind of I really like the story of blending reality here and the way they're doing it by blending social media. Like, the social media aspect of it is something we don't see a lot, because since social media became popular, like anytime a wrestler's Twitter has been involved in a storyline, it's a gimmicked thing where somebody from WWE was like, hey, tweet at Sheamus something mean so that you can wrestle Sheamus on SmackDown.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whatever the kind of situation would be.
I would have killed for that era to be able to tweet my opponents.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we had to put everything on, like, YouTube. Like, that's the only place to really broadcast anything back then.
Yep. So let's see. On Raw, we already talked about it. Asuka and Jey Uso moved on in the King and Queen tournaments. I touched on Goldberg for just a second. What are your thoughts on Goldberg returning? Match with Gunther is made for July 12th, Saturday night's main event in Atlanta. What do you got?
I think it's good it's on Saturday night's main event, not like a PLE. I think he deserves his retirement match, and Gunther's a good opponent for him.
Yep.
I would love to see a twist in it, just like, and our special guest referee, and then Bret Hart's music starts going. And
that would be interesting. I think it's a fun way to spritz up the nostalgia of Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
Because the last few have just been nostalgia for, like, 80s WWF, early 90s WWF, just kind of like, bringing out Tatanka and Ricky Steamboat. But this, you can kind of like, here to see Goldberg's last match, it's Kevin Nash and DDP and all these WCW guys. Ray's injured, but Rey Mysterio's in the crowd. And it's just like, you can kind of make, even though Saturday night's main event isn't like wasn't a WCW show, you can kind of make this one a WCW nostalgia show.
See, I've always wanted them to throw, like, once a year, like how they used to do ECW One Night Stand, do like WCW Bash at the Beach, or just one WCW event a year. That would attract a lot of people in.
Yeah. The problem is just the farther we get from WCW and ECW, the harder it is to do. It would almost have to be like doing a show in the style of WCW with your current wrestlers.
Right.
And I think the better way to pull that off would be to do like a WCW Saturday night almost.
With like the old school
With like the old school set, and like kind of, because the Nitro era is still like very close in style to current day. How things go, maybe not in writing, but just in kind of presentation and wrestling. But like pre-Nitro was like there's like a very significant split when Nitro happens.
Oh, absolutely.
So if they did like a pre-Nitro kind of nostalgia show, but it's just current wrestlers wrestling like it's a WCW Saturday night or whatever, I think that'd be really fun.
I mean, that's what it would have to be, because most WCW guys are either already in WWE or
a lot of them are
retired.
Like, I don't even know how many of them could get back in the ring. Like, maybe Booker could do something.
That would be cool to see Booker T,
like
Stevie Ray one more time. Like Harlem Heat.
Some of the cruiserweights are still around. Like Ray, Jericho's in AEW, but technically he's still around. Like
you can get Juventud Guerrero.
Hoovy is still going. Yeah, I don't remember if Psychosis is still going or not.
Have Dean Malenko come out from behind.
Yeah, Dean Malenko,
like, creative.
He's on an AEW contract, so I don't know if you'd be able to get him.
Oh, he's on an AEW contract?
Yeah, he's backstage at AEW. He's like a road agent, producer, or whatever.
I thought he was still doing that for WWE.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it for AEW for a while. Yeah, I don't even know how many people from WCW could really get in. You know, it's a very slim picking.
The return of Disco Inferno.
Oh, God. Yeah, he is still technically wrestling, if that's what you could call it. We also got Bayley and Becky renewing their rivalry officially with a promo segment. Solid, not great, but solid. I love Becky wearing Bears gear in Green Bay. That's always fun. The sports thing is always fun.
This is a lose-lose for me because I personally am not really interested in Bayley, and I'm really not interested in Becky Lynch either. So for them to get paired together, that just makes one big. We're gonna have to sit through it. Like,
I think that the interesting wrinkle for you should be, how does Lyra Valkyria play into this?
Yeah,
because this is kind of her two mentors going at it. You know, this is kind of like if Ric Flair and Triple H started feuding and Randy and Batista were caught in between.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So I think we'll see where that goes. For me, I thought Bayley as a whole last night put on a pretty great performance. You could tell she was, like, through her acting, like the character of Bayley was, you know, very, I don't really know, like almost insecure, like just like very upset about the whole situation she's in, and, you know, having to put Lyra in that spot. They had a little talk, and, like, you know, you could tell she kind of feels bad that she's taking this title match when Lyra also still deserves another title match. So that could play into it, like that creating tension between them. And then Bayley just overall looking kind of sad and just kind of like uncomfortable.
Right.
Was really, really came through the screen last night. I really liked that. Very unfortunate news here. Last night, Liv Morgan was scheduled to wrestle Kairi Sane. They got maybe 30 seconds into the match, and Liv dislocated her shoulder. So, usually, I mean, that's depending on the severity. Could be a pretty bad injury. I think people will remember the big one that always comes to mind. That's what took Finn Balor out in that first Universal title match when he gets powerbombed into the barricade. Dislocates his shoulder. He's out for a long time.
Separate his shoulder?
Did he separate his shoulder?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because dislocated, Rhea Ripley dislocated her shoulder in a match not too long ago, and she just popped it right back in.
Well, Finn in that match popped his back in, but maybe there was also a separation in there.
Yeah, he had to have surgery after that.
So it must have been a different separation. Okay. But still, the match had to stop. And they'll so she should be back soon then if it's just a dislocation. I think that's pretty much it from Raw. Like I said, Jey Uso won the King of the Ring in the main event. Let's see. I don't know if Shane sent me any notes from.
I mean, and those are two other people that I'm over, is Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, and they're gonna wrestle each other.
Yeah. Shane's kind of only note on WWE is he bought back into Goldberg. That he's way in on Goldberg. He's always been a big Goldberg guy, though. So
okay.
That's I figured just as much. So yeah, on to this weekend. I'll do a quick thing here on NJPW Dominion was this weekend. The big news pieces here, the House of Torture, the big heel stable that kind of really just sucks. Like they're not good heels. They just kind of suck at wrestling, and that's why everybody hates them. Added Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, who are... Bad Luck Fale was an original member of the Bullet Club who was not good at wrestling 13 years ago when the Bullet Club started and is worse now. And Chase Owens was an early on addition, kind of in the AJ Styles era, I think.
Okay. Is this the one that we predicted last week?
Yes, we did. And I kind of forgot we predicted it, so I did not tally it up. Let me see here. I guess as I go through the matches here, I can...
Like, these sounds like names that I don't know but voted for.
Yeah. So let's see. The War Dogs won their match, so we were all wrong on that. That match was pretty... That was the first match with House of Torture. Pretty bad. I give it 1 3/4. TMDK defeated El Phantasmo and Shota Umino, so we all got that correct. That was a solid match. I gave it 3 1/4. Hiroshi Tanahashi beat Yuya Uemura. We all got that correct. I gave that 3 stars. The House of Torture won the tag team titles, so we were all wrong on, or the junior tag team titles, so we were all wrong on that. But that was the other thing. Doki joined the House of Torture, who was actually pretty good, so it's kind of disappointing to see him join a group with so many shitters. Because Kanemaru was fake injured, just to throw him in there. Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii won the tag team titles, which only Shane predicted. So we'll put that on there. That match was pretty good. I gave 3.5. Something that none of us predicted. Oleg Boltin actually upset Konosuke Takeshita for the Never Openweight title, but a lot of people are seeing this and are like, oh, well, now Takeshita's going to win the G1 Climax, the big tournament. So that could absolutely be where this is going. I gave that 3 3/4. Evil beat David Finlay, which we all got wrong. So we'll, I don't know why Evil won. David Finlay should have won that match. It was a fine match. I gave it 3 stars. And then the 2 best matches of the night, Gabe Kidd beat Yota Tsuji, which you and I picked correctly. And I gave that 4 1/4, and then I gave 4.5 to the main event where Hiroki Goto beat Shingo Takagi. So Goto will enter the G1 as champion, and Shane got that one wrong. We both got it right. So I had 19 points. Oh no, I was looking at this wrong. Shane didn't get those. I had back you and Shane backwards. So you got those last 2 wrong, but you were the only one to pick the tag team title match right. Other than that, everything was the same. So I had 19, Shane had 20, and you had 19. So it was pretty close.
Hi.
20, 19, 19.
All right. I wasn't dead last this time.
Yeah, it was actually, you were tied for second, and we were only behind him by a point. So that was a pretty good picks. But I think I forgot about that because I was very focused on our main topic for today, which, per usual, is an idea I stole from a Ringer podcast. The Big Picture did a while back, did a best 35 actors under 35. And so I was like, you know what? I think we should do this with wrestlers. So that is, it's an interesting cutoff in both of those fields because I think wrestling timeline-wise is a lot closer to actors as far as age.
Yeah.
So 35 can kind of be when someone's breaking onto the scene. It can be when someone is in their prime, so like it's kind of an interesting spot versus in sports 35 those are old heads. Like if you're 35 and still in the NBA, like you've been around, like you're an old dude now. You know what I mean? So we all 3 made
a lot of age shaming on this podcast today.
This is the ageist episode. I'm just saying how it is. Like in the NBA, like, when someone's 35, you're like, oh, well, retirement's right around the corner for...
That threw me for a loop when you're like, find someone or find a match before you were born. I'm like, man, I only have like a select few that I can pick.
Yeah. So the way we did this, we all filled out our lists. I gave points to where you placed people. So whoever you had in first place got 35 points, second place 34, all the way down the list.
All right.
And I do have some others receiving. So these are the people, and then I added those up. And then I made a tiebreaker thing. I sent it out. We all voted on the tiebreakers. And this is our final list. So first, the people who received votes but did not make the list. Solo Sikoa, Alexa. This is most points to least points. So Solo Sikoa got 21 points, which actually tied him with 35 and 34. But through our voting, he ended up in 36th place.
All right.
So Solo Sikoa, and then this will go down in points. So Alexa Bliss at 20. At 19, we had Momo Watanabe, Pete Dunne, Trick Williams. 18, Fuminori Abe. Mariah May got 17 points. At 15, we have Jamie Hayter, Obafemi, and Suzu Suzuki. Chelsea Green got 14 points. Utami Hayashishida, 13. Miyu Yamashita, 12. Julius Creed got 11. Willow Nightingale got 10. Kosei Fujita and Ivy Nile both got 8. Vinny and Otis both got, Kosei and Ivy both got 9. Vinny and Otis both got 8. Bandito, Mao, and Raquel Rodriguez all got 7. Daniel Garcia, One Called Manders, and Dragon Lee all got 6. Yoda Tsuji, Adam Priest, and Jade Cargill all got 5. Atticus Kogar and Lyra Valkyria both got 4. Nick Wayne, Elijo Del Dr. Wagner Jr., and Austin Theory all got 3. Mr. Danger and Brutus Creed got 2. And Senka Akatsuki and Omos both got 1 point. So that's everybody who missed the 35 but did get a vote from somebody.
Okay.
Or multiple people, but at least one person voted for them. Number 35 with 21 points, receiving all of his points from me, so he would have been, I put him 15th on my list, was Jay White, the leader of Bullet Club Gold, former Bullet Club leader, former IWGP World Champion, 2 times, I believe, currently in AEW, not really on TV right now. I don't remember if he's injured or if he's just off TV for some storyline reason. Or I know like Juice and the Guns, his backup are injured, so they're kind of waiting to bring them all back together. But Jay White has had an incredible run in AEW. He is future world champion material for AEW. Already, like there was a thing where he like stole the belt and was wearing it, and he looks good with that belt. Like it just kind of looks fitting. So Jay White got the 35th spot. Same situation for 34, except for he was Shane's pick is Ozawa. So Ozawa, let me find Shane's list here. Ozawa, he said his stable sucks. The booking of the company sucks. He should suck, but he doesn't. He's got endless charisma, a nice moveset, and he is the reigning GHC heavyweight champion. That is Pro Wrestling Noah's heavyweight title. He's got a co-sign from Masahiro Chono, a Japanese wrestling legend. So that's kind of why he put Ozawa so high. So I have not seen anything of Ozawa, so I'll take Shane at his word for it, and that's where he ended up. The next one, though, I know you have to step aside for a few minutes soon, but
we got about 4 minutes.
First, you put Logan Paul on here.
I did.
He ended up 33rd on our list with 22 points, all from you. That means you would have put him 14th. Why'd you put Logan Paul up here? What do you see from him?
I had to put aside the fact that he is a shit person to look at. He really has worked his ass off to be good at professional wrestling. And unfortunately, and I think I put that in the text to you too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he was high on my list because he is really good at what he does in the ring.
On Jolka's list, it was like Logan Paul, parentheses, I hate that he's high. I hate that he's this high, but I have to put him here kind of thing. And I understand that. Logan Paul has really etched himself in the rankings of celebrity wrestlers.
Yeah.
And you're right. He has, I can't deny that he's put in work. I can't deny that he has done cool stuff. He has done cool moves. He's done week-to-week storylines as a celebrity wrestler, which is kind of something you don't usually see. He shows up to TV. I haven't been able to fully. His stock like spiked when he first showed up, and he's just kind of gone down for me because it's kind of been like we're just kind of playing out the same thing.
Right.
So he didn't make my list or Shane's, but he's a spectacular athlete. I understand how he ended up on here. I should mention, by the way, Jay White is 32 years old. Ozawa is 28. Logan Paul is 30. So that's where we're starting. Next up, the 28-year-old Saya Kamatani. Sorry. She got 22 points from being Shane's 14th pick. He says, out of every wrestler today, nobody looks more like the final boss of a video game than Saya, even more than Dwayne, the final boss. Saya took an incredible leap after the Marigold Schism, losing it after Utami left, turning heel and winning the red belt of Stardom. I don't know what that means, but okay, Shane.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one who thinks it during Shane's corner. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, most of the time when it's GCW, I know most of what he's talking about. When it gets to Japan, I am a like New Japan, and occasionally I watch a match from like Noah or All Japan. Like I am a very surface level Japan fan. So when he starts, just the deeper and deeper he gets into like Stardom and Marigold and DDT and just like all these other companies, I'm like, cool, man. Yep.
Can you imagine he's just been lying to us this whole time and just making storylines up as he goes?
Yeah, he could be. Yeah. And then he said, as if that wasn't it, she's become somewhat of a mainstream star in Japan, appearing on multiple TV shows, even one where she gets extremely passionate about wrestling. And then he said that she had a match of the year contender against Tom Nakano this year, so I'm sure we'll get to that more as the year goes on and we get to that end of the year stuff. So yeah, Saya Kamitani was number 32 on this list. Number 31 on the list, we have the 26-year-old WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. She made your list. You're the only one who voted her in. I will say I do have my list up here, and she was in my I know she was in my final round. Yeah, she was in my final round of cuts. I had her 37th.
Oh,
so
wow.
she just missed mine.
Right.
She made it. So I was happy to see, like, at least she made it off of your list. She got some recognition. I mean, what do you like about Tiffany Stratton? I'll let you go first since you voted her in.
I think she really connects with like the younger females out there. She's like a living Barbie doll almost, and the little kids just love her.
And she kicks ass.
Yeah,
dude.
she does.
Like, she had a match with Becky Lynch when Becky went back to NXT for a while.
Yeah.
And it was some sort of Extreme Rules, some sort of stipulation like that, and it was just incredible. Like, she was just so good. And that was like the match where I was like, oh, she really is something. Like, she is not just another, pretty face. She is like the real deal. And I've been a fan of hers. I love her moonsault. Shout outs to Christopher Daniels, but like I love that.
Now, is it just me, or is her moonsault the same as Jacob Fatu's?
I think they do kind of the same jump thing, but that comes from Christopher Daniels, who was doing that in TNA 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it was the best moonsault ever, is what he called it. Tiffany calls it the prettiest moonsault ever. Love that character-wise.
Every time I see Jacob Fatu do it, I'm just like, Tiffy time.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu it's the most impressive what he does.
Oh,
it's like,
absolutely.
That is a guy
that's a big guy.
Big. Yeah, and we'll get to Jacob Fatu later. So let's give Tiffy her praise here. Tiffany, just absolutely fantastic, is going to be a star in wrestling for decades to come. Like, as long as she stays healthy, barring any like major injury issues, like she will be one of the faces of women's wrestling for the next 20 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Number 30, we have the 32-year-old Stephanie Vaquer. She got in for You and Me Together, voting her in. I must have put her 28th, and you put her 31st.
Okay.
Or no, sorry. Did I do that backwards?
Let me see. Let me pull my numbers
15
up.
points plus the 30. Yeah, I think you would have put her 31st. And I would have put her... No.
I put her number 20.
21st.
I have her at number 20.
Number 20. Oh, yeah, I remember you put two 14s in there. So your list, everything after 14 is off. So she has actually 21st for you. I was like, 31st doesn't sound right. Yeah, 21st, and I put her 28th. She has been incredible. For me, she first, hit my radar at that Forbidden Door where she wrestled Mercedes Moné out of CMLL. And then now she, not long after that, made the transfer to WWE, very quickly moved through the NXT system.
Right.
Which was shocking to me. I knew she had the wrestling ability, It was shocking to me that WWE felt she had the WWE style down enough to move her up that quickly, that she learned the WWE style so fast. She's been incredible. Another great performance on Raw this week. What are your thoughts on Stephanie McCurr?
She's great. Her and Rhea Ripley tying up, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But that girl can wrestle. She can wrestle, and I don't know what does she call that move where she just stomps her head into the ground with her ass.
The devil's something. The devil's kiss, or
yeah,
maybe,
the
or
devil's
something
kiss.
like that. Yeah, the kiss of death, something like that.
I think you were right with the devil's kiss.
Yeah. That move is awesome. I don't like that Booker T has made it into a horny nightmare, but
Booker T makes everything into a horny nightmare, to be honest.
that would be the funniest thing ever said on this show.
I am 100% surprised Booker T was not involved in any of the lawsuits.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, so Stephanie McCurr, an incredible wrestler. Number 29. So we're in the 24-point territory here. 32 years old, Darby Allin, who shockingly was voted on here by Jolka alone. He did not make either of mine and Shane's list. He
was number 12 on mine.
Just like Tiffany, he was 36 on mine. So he just missed my cut. And he did not make Shane's list. Shane's never really been a fan of Darby Allin.
I mean, are you kidding me? All he's accomplished, the matches he's been, working with Sting, and now climbing Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm.
He's the man.
Darby Allin will always be a legend to me just for that glass spot at Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was insane to do in Sting's last match, too. Like, the levels of that. And then, of course, yes, he goes off. He climbs Mount Everest now. He is, I would say, almost certainly a future AEW World Champion. I'm not necessarily predicting he'll be the guy to take it off of Moxley, but for years we've all known, like, this guy will get his. Like, he will.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And just for him, talk about, like, just in the guys who just do not care what happens to their body whatsoever. Like, just has no even.
I mean, his finisher's a trust fall.
Yeah.
He does not give two
He
shits.
does not give a shit about his personal safety. And sometimes those are like the best kind of wrestlers.
Oh,
because they'll just do anything. So yeah, that's Darby Allin at number 29. 28 is the 29-year-old Shun Skywalker. From Dragon Gate, he was voted in, of course, by Shane, because I don't have the time to watch Dragon Gate, even if I wanted to. And if I had more time to watch wrestling, Dragon Gate would be like the 15th company on the list of I'd watch more of.
I was going to watch some wrestling this week, and I ended up jumping on my Nintendo Switch and playing WWE 2K18 for like 6 hours on my day off.
Nice. So you said Shun Skywalker has been Dragon Gate's top heel since 2020. Maybe the best character they've ever had. He's been top of Masquerade and Z-Brats as heel factions. And also he made a baby cry. And Shane has linked something here to an Instagram page that doesn't exist anymore. All right.
Nice.
So,
good job, Shane.
The link doesn't work, but I mean, if you make a baby cry, pretty good heel work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what turned my whole perception of John Cena around.
When he made a kid cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make someone under the age of 10, like if they're still in single digits and you make them cry, that's
and then you point them out for crying,
yeah,
like, even better.
So I should have put that on Shun Skywalker's stat page when I sent out the tiebreakers. And then next up, scoring 24th place from both of us, Axiom, the 28-year-old Spanish luchador. He's been incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
His tag team work with Nathan Frazier, anytime he breaks off and does anything singles-wise, I mean, even his singles competitions with Nathan Frazier before they formed the tag team, insane. He could be like, WWE constantly does this thing where they're like, all right, Dragon Lee, this is the next Rey Mysterio. Ray Phoenix, this is the next Rey Mysterio. And then they have guys like this right under their nose where it's like Axiom could be your next great luchador if you just put the money behind him.
They should just make a cruiserweight title and put Rey Mysterio's face on the center plate.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, a cruiserweight title that is Rey Mysterio's mask design would look kind of fucking sick.
I would buy that.
Yeah, I would too. I absolutely would. I'd have to. But yeah, Axiom has just been incredible. An insane athlete. He can also actually go like on the mat from like his NXT UK days as a kid.
Lazy tag team name, though. I do got to
Fraxium?
throw that out there.
Well, see, that one, it's because they didn't have a tag team name, and then the fans started calling them Fraxium.
Oh, all right.
So the fans made that, and then WWE was like, sure, Fraxium. We'll go with it.
All right.
So that was kind of like the fan. It's like the ship name thing. You know about that? Like when the internet, whenever there's like, my favorite is Peeta and Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games, and people put that name together and call them penis. Stuff like that. You know? Benifer was a thing. Like it was like Ben Affleck and Jennifer, one of the Jennifers. Lopez maybe? I don't remember. But you know what I'm talking about. Like they do the kind of mash the names together thing. And so Fraxium came out of that.
All right.
26th place here, scoring 25 points, all from Jolka, putting him 11th, was Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, yeah.
So thoughts on Kaiser?
That is Gunther's mini-me. If Gunther was a lightweight, that's it. He's got the strength. He's got the toughness. He's definitely got heel work down to a T.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a world champion, I believe.
He absolutely could. His promo, I love his promo style. He thinks he is so much better than just everybody else on Earth. Like he just thinks he is the best on Earth at anything, and that he is disgusted that he is put in the same conversation as anybody else on the roster, and that's just so good to me. I love that. So, yeah, absolutely hats off to Ludwig Kaiser. Yeah, absolutely great. And 34, one of the older people on this list. He's almost aged out of the list. So, we'll see. We'll see how his career moves on from here. Kind of hasn't been on TV. Kind of seems like he took some shots at Charlotte, so they sent him to Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Or Palcatraz, what were they calling it? But, yeah. So... he might be locked up right now, free my boy, but
right.
He's
that's currently doing house shows, wrestling J.D. McPfeiffer.
He's on house show arrest. So number 25 is the 22-year-old Azumi. So she is a Stardom wrestler. I put her 34th on my list. Shane put her 9th. So that's how she ended up here. She got 28 points. She's just such a good athlete, just flying all over the ring. She's been kind of the top of, the X division in TNA.
Yeah.
So Stardom kind of has one of those, and she's been the face of that for a couple years now. Recently wrestled on AEW, too. Did a crossover there.
I've done a stolen Ultimate X match before.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't for TNA.
Yeah.
But they just stole the match, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And
yeah.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer ladder matches because climbing is fun, but when you're trying to, like, and you're, oh, man, you've got baby oil on your hands. That is so hard. So hard. I took a bump off of there, and I just prayed. Like, he went up and grabbed my feet and threw me this way, and I did a front bump off there, and I just held on, and I just let go. I'm like, all right, damn. But I thought that baby oil was going to throw me right clear out of the ring when he pushed me. Like, I held on for dear life.
So Azumi has been the face of that. She's only 22. She's quickly moving up the ranks of Stardom. She will kind of be a face in Japanese wrestling for years to come. A very exciting young wrestler, as is how I describe her. Number 24, at 23 years old, is Roxanne Perez, voted in by Jolka, putting her in 16th place, or in 6th place. Sorry, not 16th. So yeah, what do you got on Roxanne Perez? Another one who I believe barely missed my list. Yeah, she was 42nd on my list. So
She's just already good at what she does, and now you're putting her with Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Finn Balor, just the people
Dom.
she's Dirty Dom. Yeah, the people she's surrounded with are setting her up for even more success that she does already had.
Yeah,
That's why she is my front runner for Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. Roxanne, I remember when she was Roxy in Ring of Honor during COVID, and then she's been trained by Booker T. She's in NXT for like ever. Like Shane and I were both like, man, she is main roster ready. Pull her up to the main roster. We want to see her with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Bayley and all these people.
Right.
And she's just a fantastic wrestler. Could be the female face of WWE for years to come.
I was upset that she didn't win Money in the Bank.
Yeah, no, she absolutely been a great choice. She is another great athlete, really hard hitting too. Like really puts it together. So I like that pick. Next up, number 23, 31 years of age is Liv Morgan. She was put here 33 points, so she got third place for you. What made you put Liv Morgan up here?
I love Liv Morgan. She's such a great wrestler as it is, and she can do it all. Like, her promos are on point. Her backstage work is great. Her and Dominic's storyline is amazing because when she came back, that is for the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, that was just a whole different Liv Morgan that really lit on fire and grew.
Yeah, with Liv, she is good in the ring, but I think a lot of her stock is in her storytelling. It
Absolutely.
is in the storyline she puts together. And then she's good enough in the ring to pull it all together, right?
And she tells the story even with the way she walks, the way she just moves around the ring with her little facial expressions. She's great.
She does the she's one of the best at that crazy gimmick, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of crazy girl gimmicks, and she's up there with like AJ Lee, Mickey James with some of the best just crazy girl work.
Oh, yeah.
And then her whole storyline with Dominic and Rhea, of course, was incredible. She didn't make my list or Shane's, but that is a solid pick. I absolutely understand her being there. Next up, so that's, I believe, Liv Morgan's the last person who made the list off of one person's vote. Everybody from 22 up, at least two people voted for. So first in that, 31 years old, number 22 here is Ilya Dragunov. So he was in 17th place for me. He was in 19th place for you. Just a monster, dude. Just a missile of a wrestler. Like we talk about Darby Allin. I don't think Ilya Dragunov cares about his own body either. He will do but his it's less flashy than what Darby does. Like, Ilya's not throwing himself through glass, but he's just throwing himself into the turnbuckles like head first so hard. Like stuff like that.
Or
just going into the barricade. Yeah.
Like, you can see where he smashes himself every match.
Yeah. He's just so good. That the peak of that just European style for me, just that hard hitting. 100 miles per hour the entire match start to finish. Like, Ilya is so good. And I can't wait for him to be back. He's been injured for a while.
Right.
So I definitely, maybe that might even have dropped some stock from us subconsciously even. Like, I tried not to consider injuries in this, but like,
it's hard to when they're not
when
right
he's
up in your
on
face.
TV, he is like the best part of WWE TV week to week.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just so good. Number 21, a recent WWE debut, 34 years old. It's Rey Fenix. He got 11th place for me and 23rd place for you. So, absolutely great. One of the best luchadors.
By far.
Like, especially in the mainstream, like as crossover into America luchadors, he's one of the best on the planet right now. His AEW run was incredible. Unfortunately, his only singles push got cut short with a pretty nasty concussion, but shit happens.
Right.
He did a great job replacing Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania this year. I gave him a lot of props for that. He kind of got thrown into that match like 2 days before.
Right, yeah.
And then had an awesome match with Grande Americano. at WrestleMania. So absolutely very excited to see this guy. Just also so like proud of where he's done because like I remember his Impact days being a big fan of him and Penta. Like that was they just happened to be at the top of Impact at a time where I was like, oh, I'm going to try to watch Impact again.
Right.
And like just great. And so just so happy for me now here, 8 years later, like that's kind of one of my I've been a Phoenix fan since before it was cool to be a Phoenix fan. I'm just so happy to see him where he is. Anything else on Rey Fenix?
No, I think we covered him.
One of the best masks in wrestling too.
Right yeah, by far.
One of the best.
It reminds me of a mix of Rey Mysterio and Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah, I get that. I like that. There's some fire to it also with the Phoenix thing that I really like. Yeah, I definitely get Ultimo Dragon vibes. Keeping it in Mexico, number 20 is the 28-year-old El Hijo del Vikingo. So he got 7th place from me and 25th place or 26th place from Shane. One of the best luchadors out there. His match with Kenny Omega, I've said time and time again, is my favorite match I've seen live. The best match I've seen live. He got 39 points in this one. Recently sort of made his WWE debut, I guess, with the Worlds Collide show and just put on an incredible match with Chad Gable. So Vikingo is just one of the best young stars out there, and WWE, if they use him right, absolutely could be a superstar. Do you have any thoughts on him from just your short experience with him so far?
It would be hard for me to place him, but I feel maybe next year he might make the list.
If we do this again in a year?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. All right. Number 19, the 34-year-old French-Canadian Mike Bailey, the speedball as they call him. He got 22nd place for me and 11th place for Shane. Absolutely just some of the best kicks in the game right now. I love, he's one of the best kickers out there. His tag team with Kevin Knight has been great. Bailey has just been a perfect fit right in with the AEW roster. He was great on the Indies and in TNA for years. One of the things that really shot Bailey up my rankings a few years ago was he wrestled like 11 matches WrestleMania weekend, like 11 matches in 4 days or something was crazy.
Yeah.
And like high level matches too. Like one of his matches was against Hiroshi Tanahashi from New Japan. Like he had like real high level matches in that. This was at the LA Mania weekend. So incredible. If you haven't seen anything from Mike Bailey, he's one to watch. Could be a future star anywhere his career goes.
Nice.
So next up, another one on the much younger side of, I believe, our second youngest, just skimming the list here, is the 23-year-old Starlight Kid from Stardom. She is a masked wrestler, kind of has a tiger mask type design, but kind of all colorful and glitzy and glamorous, right? She got 23rd place from me and 8th place from Shane, giving her 41 points. Absolutely incredible. Like, she is maybe the best wrestler in Stardom right now. Gonna be a future star. Could go all over the world. Like, you want to talk about connection to the younger female audience. I'm talking like the kids up to kind of young adults. Like, great. Every match I've seen of her, I am so impressed. And this was kind of one of those moments where I was making this list and I was like, man, I like her a lot more than I thought I did.
Absolutely.
Like, as I'm just like putting her like over more people, I'm like, yeah, she's actually really, really good. It kind of takes sitting down and listing them out sometimes to realize, like, yeah, she actually has been kind of kicking ass.
Right.
So like, so from what I've seen of her crossing over with AEW and New Japan and all of that, I've been very impressed by Starlight Kid.
All right.
And she's going to be a force for years to come. Number 17, also 23 years old, Mascara Dorada from CMLL. I had him 12th. Shane had him 19th, giving him 41 points. He's one of the best luchadors in the world right now. Like, that's so high up there, and he's only 23, so like he only is going to grow from here.
Yeah.
He really, by the end, could be an all-time lucha legend.
Okay.
He's been great. He's teaming with Mystico, which is huge, like a huge partnership for him because it's like a great mentor to have.
Oh, okay.
For the last, except for when he was Sin Cara, for the last like 20 years, Mystico's been like the top luchador in Mexico.
So that was Sin Cara.
Yeah, Mystico. So he came in to WWE. He did not adapt well to WWE style.
Not at all.
And just completely flopped. But then he goes back to Mexico, and he's a god again. So, but Mascara Dorada, he will be on AEW TV this week. He in this big Grand Slam Mexico crossover they're doing. So, he is absolutely incredible. Any matches you can catch of his are worth catching because he's the real deal of lucha right now. Number 16, the 30-year-old Carmelo Hayes. I put him in 20th place. You put him 9th.
Yep.
So 43 points. What are your thoughts on Carmelo Hayes?
I mean, closest thing to the next Shawn Michaels as I think we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
He's athletic. He's great in the ring. He's just all around, like his words escaping me. His storytelling is really good.
Weirdly, he's in that lineage of he could be kind of the next Shawn Michaels. I kind of think he also could be like the next John Cena. He's got the swagger that young Cena had. He has the ability for sure in the ring, like more ability than young Cena had in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And just he has the physique. He has everything down. Like he is such a I think he kind of is a good Cena comp as for where Cena was at about the same age.
Right.
And so, yeah, I love Melo. I've been a big fan of his since NXT. So I'm absolutely excited to see where his career goes.
Right.
Next up, number 33, Jacob Fatu, the first guy so far on the list that all three of us voted for.
All right.
So he got 35th for me, so he just made my list. He got 20th for Shane, and he got 4th for you.
Yeah, he was pretty high on my list.
49 total points, so kind of a jump here from Melo to Jacob. I mean, what a beast, dude.
Oh, unbelievable. The man moves like he is a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
And he's 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's been a monster since I remember watching him during COVID when I was home all the time. I watched MLW because that was just free on YouTube, so I would just watch their shows.
Yep.
And he was in that and just incredible there. He was their world champion for a long time. And then, yeah, his move to WWE has been great. He's been the best part of the new bloodline. He's been just absolutely killing it. And as United States champion, just a great fit. And
Absolutely,
we'll see
yeah.
Really, we were talking about Melo, the next Shawn, next Cena. Jacob Fatu, that is your next Umaga. Like, this is...
he's going to...
And he will surpass Umaga.
Absolutely. Then we're going to be talking about who's the next Jacob Fatu.
Someday,
That's what's going to be happening.
Absolutely. Number 14, the 33-year-old Mercedes Moné. She got 4th place from me, 18th place from Shane, so that's a total of 50 points. She's just been incredible. She's been on a tear since she returned from injury and joined AEW.
Did I not put her on?
I don't think you... Oh, so did I say from Shane? It's from you.
Okay.
I just read the wrong column.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure I voted her.
So, yeah, you put her 18th. I put her 4th. She's great in the ring. For me, by far the best of the 4 horsewomen in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then she just has limitless charisma and is so over the 4 belts Moné thing. She could add a 5th belt this week. She's challenging for the CMLL women's title. So, and just becoming a worldwide star. Like, she went and made herself huge in Japan. She's making herself big in Mexico now. Like, she is just becoming she's the Rev Pro British women's champion. Like, she is all over the world, really, truly a world star, and at just the top of her game, and at the top of the wrestling game right now. That's, man or woman, like, just incredible.
It really took her leaving WWE to shoot where she is today.
Yeah, she was already one of the best women's wrestlers in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And then she leaves WWE. She goes on this run in New Japan. She gets hurt, unfortunately, has to miss like about a year, and then goes into AEW, and now she's just one of the best wrestlers in the world, period. You know, man, woman, or child. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world.
I agree.
And So, yeah, that's absolutely a great pick. The next one, the 26-year-old Australian Kyle Fletcher, 13th. I put him, 16th, and Shane put him 5th. So pretty high up for both of us. I got him 51 points. He's just so good in the ring. He reminds me of a young Randy quite a bit, but seemingly not as much of a douche as young Randy was.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. He's young Randy, but he's also like more athletic too. Like he can do a little bit more than Randy could. And he's with the Dunkhouse family right now, doing great work. His rivalry with Ospreay was incredible. He's in the TNT title picture now, so we'll see where that goes. But absolutely a future star for AEW. Or if they lose him, they're losing a great one.
Oh, right.
They call him the proto star, which is like the scientific term for like a star that is forming.
Right.
And so like that's just perfect for him because he is a star in formation right now. Number 12 at 31 years old is Julia, recent call up to the main roster. I put her 13th. Shane put her 6th. So I got her 53 points. She's just been incredible. You want to talk about hard hitting, strong style. Like she's the best woman at that right now. And is certainly a future world champion in WWE. I haven't seen as much of her recently because they moved her to SmackDown, and I don't have a way to watch SmackDown right now. But she's been great in everything I've seen her do, from crossovers with New Japan and AEW all the way up through NXT and in WWE. Do you have any thoughts on Julia?
She's getting there. Mm-hmm. I think she's gonna.
Money in the Bank was a rough showing. I'll give you that. The multi-man ladder match concept, I don't think she was quite prepared for. I don't know if she's quite experienced in that kind of genre of wrestling yet.
No, and that's not her fault. They put her in that situation, and she made the best out of it, I think. But
and really, most of her problem, Roxanne's too, in that match, they just didn't know how to get the ladders to do what they wanted them to do. They didn't know how to make the ladders cooperate. And that's kind of sometimes slows a match down.
She's another one I want to see where they're at a year from now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree with that. Keeping it in Japan, but also in the AEW, we have Konosuke Takeshita, the 30-year-old. He gets the 11th place spot. He was 8th on my list and 9th on Shane's list. So, I mean, that's going to get you pretty high on this. That got him 55 points. Just a beast. Hard-hitting, brawler. Like, can do everything. Walker Stewart brings us up 12 times a match every time he wrestles in New Japan, but he actually wrote his college thesis paper on the art of the German suplex.
Oh, wow.
Like, this guy is wrestling through and through. He came up through the DDT system, went on to AEW, became a huge star in AEW. Now he's on this, like, triple contract with AEW, DDT, and New Japan, while also making appearances for, like, Pro Wrestling Noah. And I think he's wrestled in CMLL as well. I can't remember for sure. But absolutely incredible. He is on the short list of people to be like one of the next few AEW world champions, and he's on the short list of people to be one of the next IWGP world champions in Japan.
Okay.
So he is a main event player in 2 different countries right now. Absolute star. And yeah, he's become one of my favorites.
All right. I can respect that.
Now we're getting into the top 10 with the 32-year-old Mayu Iwatani. She is in Marigold, I believe, the newer rival women's promotion to Stardom. That is, that's the one that Io Sky went over and wrestled in. She might have even wrestled Mayu, I don't remember, but she's wrestled there a couple times. Shane put her first. I put her 14th, so that gets her up here at 57. An absolute star. She is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Let me see what Shane had to say about Mayu. Top 3 on Cage Match of all time by rating. She's the Joshi Puroresu icon, which is kind of women's pro wrestling in Japan. Instantly made Marigold a big deal when she joined recently. Consistently puts up great matches. And Shane says there simply isn't anyone like Mayu. I'm trying to think of like a U.S. like really she is like Ospreay kind of thing for Japan and for women's wrestling. Like, she's just that kind of that athleticism, that, you know, it's also still hard hitting, good strikes, and just a star. So yeah, Mayu Iwatani, number 10. Number 9, we have Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He was 10th place for you, 5th place for me. I think of everybody on this list, he might be the best on the mic.
Oh, absolutely.
He's up there at the top. Just such a good shit heel. Just so good at being an asshole.
He really is.
He's the most keeping kayfabe alive type guy that we've had. Like, just the way he acts at contract sign or at
right.
Like signings for signing action figures and stuff like that is always so funny.
The big AEW tattoo he got.
The AEW tattoo that he got removed also.
He got it removed.
Yeah, that was yeah. Just good heel shit. And one of the best wrestlers in the world. Sneaky good technical wrestler. I absolutely love MJF. Everything he's done has been gold since he joined AEW at the beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's number 9. Number 8, the 28-year-old second-generation wrestler here, Dominic Mysterio. I put him 10th. You put him 2nd. What do you like about Dominic?
Talk about someone you thought a year ago would not be making this kind of momentum in WWE. He's absolutely had a tsunami of great luck and a great run since WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since WrestleMania, I mean, he's been doing great before then, but everyone seemed to actually get behind him on WrestleMania. And as much as I want to play him the heel, everyone is still behind him.
Yeah, they were booing him quite a bit last night, but the booing, just like the Kurt Angle "you suck,"
yeah,
it's gone from being like a real chant at the guy to like just playing into him. You know what I mean? You're teaming with him now.
Exactly.
So they're like booing him, but it's really a cheer.
But
like WrestleMania, it was a straight up cheer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, people just went bananas when Dominic won because he's so over.
Even when they're booing him, they're still singing that dirty, dirty Dom at least once for every match.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Like, the son of Rey Mysterio, but he's the next Eddie Guerrero. Like,
yes.
Which is just insane that they did a storyline where Eddie was his real dad, and now he's grown up and he's so similar to Eddie. Like, that is just...
Did you see the picture of
Yeah, he put the IC title by Eddie's grave. I saw that. That was great. Also, just obviously has such a respect for the business and a respect for the history of Lucha Libre as well. Like, it's not just about WWE for him. Like, he really respects that Mexican heritage and what that means to pro wrestling. So that's always great, too, to have somebody who's such a student of the game like that.
Have you ever seen him go in depth into his tattoos?
A little bit.
He's got the mask of legendary luchadors on every finger.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it like, let's see, he is one of, 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking only 3 second-generation wrestlers who made our list. Yeah, he's one of 3 second-generation wrestlers who made our list, Jacob Fatu being one of the other ones, and then we'll get to the third one here in a minute.
And what I love is he's not in that other category of the next Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, he's
nothing like his dad in the ring.
It's really funny because he's not trying to be his dad. He's trying to be his dad's greatest rival.
Yeah.
he's trying to be Eddie. Like, that's so funny. That's not only is he trying to emulate his dad's greatest rival, he's trying to join him as one of the greatest rivals to his dad. You know what I mean?
You can tell that Eddie was probably one of the cool uncles that he got away with a lot of shit with, and that's the one he idolized.
You can tell he loves Eddie. Number 7, another front runner for the biggest women's star in Japan right now is Sarai. Mm-hmm. She wrestled in NXT for a time as Sarai, and I put her 9th on my list. Shane put her 2nd. So that gets her up here with 61 points. She is absolutely incredible in the ring. Shane says top 3, no matter the age. She's fighting to bring back that All Japan women's spirit. He says she hits hard. She's resilient. She's here to shit on your company. And in the end, we thank her for it. So, like she's absolutely great. Anything she does really legitimizes it. Like, she's been running her own shows, and they've been like heralded as some of the best shows. So, hats off to Sari. She's been great. Next up, someone who got votes from all three of us, Braun Breaker, the third second-generation wrestler on this list. 27 years old.
Yep.
He gets 6th place on our list. He got 18th from me, 22nd from Shane, and 5th from you.
Yeah.
So what do you got on Braun Breaker?
He's just so intense. He's one of the best in-ring performers, right?
Yeah.
He is Goldberging way better than Goldberg.
Oh yeah, he's the definition of explosive.
Yes.
Like, just as an athlete.
And then if you look at his real life, like if you look at his real persona in real life, he's a really decent human being.
Mm-hmm.
He's always doing charity stuff. He's one of the easiest people to talk to on the roster, despite him having this "I'm gonna kill everybody around me" gimmick.
Yeah, he is
humble. That's the word I was going for.
Yeah, on TV though, like you said, he is a killer. That's like the right word. He is, absolutely, like you said, intensity, explosiveness, just
I guarantee if people see their name on the card against Braun Breaker, they know they're gonna hurt.
Yeah,
that he's safe, but he will hurt you.
Yeah, you're gonna be sore tomorrow.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely one of the best right now. Him and Mello could be like the next kind of guys that WWE's built around for decades.
And I believe he's got the best spear of all time.
He might have the best spear of all time. Certainly way better than Jey Uso's.
Yeah, Jey Uso is falling so hard on my list. He's like Jobber Jey Uso to me at this point.
Jobber Jey, dude. Yeah, so that Braun Breaker just absolutely incredible. And he has been since NXT. Like, he was one that, like, he's one that could have been on the main roster a lot sooner than he was. And he's had a great run since he got there. So he ends up at number 6.
And they also put him with some of the best people to get even better. Having Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. No disrespect to Bronson Reed, but just having those two.
The kind of thing is they're trying to put Bronson Reed in that same spot. Like, they're putting him and Bronson together to learn from Heyman and Rollins.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They're both kind of the pupils in that situation. So getting into our top 5 here, reaching 3rd place on both of mine and Shane's lists, we have Toni Storm, the AEW Women's Champion. She is 29 years old, hasn't even cracked 30 yet, and is one of the best in the world for me. Incredible in the ring. If you want to talk character, nobody beats her right now. She is so hilarious and incredible. Honestly, she's like the greatest comedy act of all time. Like, if you look at it and break it down, like, her character is so over the top and, like, so ridiculous it should be a comedy act. But she's so great in the ring that it's just legitimizes her.
Okay.
It's like this weird, I don't know, like, it's up there with, like kind of The Rock. Like, everything The Rock does was played for laughs, right?
Right.
But he was so good that you were just like, this guy's also just kind of one of the best in the world. Like, you know what I mean?
All right.
It's something like that where it's like, this should be comedy, but it is gold.
Okay.
And that's what I love about Toni Storm. Let me see what Shane had to say about her. He said the best woman contracted to an American company right now, should main event AEW's biggest show ever. We'll have you watching every match and promo with her timeless character that hasn't faced any issues of being stale. That's a good point too. To top it all off, the Hollywood ending almost guaranteed her a spot in his top 5. So that Hollywood ending match was incredible. And like I said, she is one of the best wrestlers in the world, also one of the best, like in ring, and also one of the best storytellers, especially with that Hollywood ending she did with Mariah May. Getting into the top 4 here, all 4 of these people received a vote from all 3 of us.
All right.
So 4th place is Swerve Strickland, 34 years old. He got 6th from me, 13th from Shane, and 19th from you.
Yep.
Which is fair. Like it's one of those things where it's like I'm way higher on him than you guys are, but also it might not be that much because it just might be like more people. You know what I mean? So, he's incredible. His style in the ring. If you want to talk about like his swagger is kind of the the peak like what I was talking about with Carmelo Hayes. Swerve had that, and then it's just kept growing. Like Swerve is the ideal version of what Carmelo Hayes could be someday.
Right.
In any like Braun Breaker, kind of the same thing. Braun Breaker has a certain swagger, and I think Swerve is kind of like that, where that he is the perfect evolution of like this is the aura you want to have. This is the kind of that's kind of the vibe you want to have as a wrestler, and he's just also a killer.
Yes.
Like that match with Hangman with the cinder block and the syringe. And
that is why he made my list, is that match.
Yeah.
That's what got my attention on him.
Yeah. So, and he had a great world title run. So kind of short, but a great one. Short for AEW standards. It was like, I don't know, 4 months or something. But in that match with Danielson he had was like one of those like the top examples that come to mind of like a match that made me feel something, or like a match that played with my emotions the way like a movie does.
Yeah.
Like that match was like people do the cinema thing with the bloodline. That match was cinema. That was like a real feeling. That was art. And so his match with Danielson, and of course just like pretty much every wrestler of the last 20 years, his best match was with Danielson.
Right.
You know? So Swerve, hats off, number 4. Now getting into our top 3, earning the bronze medal here. Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Oh, yeah.
She got 25th from me, 7th from Shane, and 1st from you. So I was a little lower on her than you guys are, but I guess she got your first place. What put Rhea there?
There's nobody else that gets a pop like Rhea Ripley. She has
kidding.
the best crowd reaction of any professional wrestler of any age at any time, I believe.
Yeah. Well, like I know, like just for example, I saw her and Cody live in Wichita same night. She got a way bigger pop.
Oh, yeah.
And Cody was a surprise. We didn't know Cody was going to be there. We knew Rhea was going to be there, but it was still the bigger pop. Like it was just so cool. The kids fucking love Rhea.
Oh,
dude.
absolutely.
There were, like, you see it all the time on TV, but, like, just from personal experience at that Raw, there were, like, 4 kids sitting behind me. They went nuts for Rhea Ripley. And I was like, you know what? She's got it. She's got it made. And she has been absolutely incredible.
Did you ever see the kid that had the shirt that said, "She's my mommy," and he ran up and pushed Dominic Mysterio out of the picture for that?
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, she's absolutely incredible. Great in the ring, great on the mic. Another one, just like Swerve, just so much swagger to her.
Absolutely,
and, like, just so much.
Number 1 women's wrestler
that it
in the
factor.
game.
Yeah, I could put. Yeah, I can't argue that. You know what I mean? I don't. I put other women higher than her on this list, but I also can't. That's a good argument for Rhea. Number 2. Receiving a second place vote from me, 16th from Shane, and 8th from you is the Hangman Adam Page, 33 years old. I also like to point out Rhea Ripley, youngest in our top 5.
Yeah, she's what, 23? Oh, 28.
Yeah, if you go to the top 10, only Braun is younger than her out of our top 10.
Okay.
So, like, she's still got a lot ahead of her. But Hangman Page, 33 years old, gets second place with 82 points. Just been incredible. This whole storyline with the Death Riders this past few months has been great. His storyline with Swerve Strickland is one of my favorite rivalries I've ever seen.
Yeah, again, that's why he made the list for this one as well.
And then, of course, but also, like, for me, his match with Punk meant so much to me. His rivalry with Kenny Omega meant so much. Like, he's been at the top for a while. He is one of the great AEW champions, and he somehow just keeps topping himself. You know what I mean? Like, he just keeps getting better. I think, for my money, he's the best actor in wrestling right now. Like, just the way he does his character work and his psychology is very actor-like. And he has just been he's great at that. His facial expressions are some of the best in the business.
Right.
And just his intensity, just like guys like Swerve and Ilya, like just so intense all the time. But then also the finesse that he has in the ring, kind of like Kenny and Ospreay.
Right.
Like he's just like this like molding of a bunch of different things that I love about pro wrestlers, and they just all get thrown in to Hangman Adam Page. What are your thoughts on him?
It's really hard to say any more than you just did, because he could be the best technical wrestler right now of any company.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other great thing is like his style is so moldable. He could be the best at pretty much any kind of wrestling you want to make him do.
Absolutely. He adaptable, very adaptable.
Yeah, so Shane's notes, he said the redemption arc has been one of the best stories in wrestling. The Swerve feud has been one of the best in wrestling. The cage match was the best violent cage match that wasn't named a Cage of Death / Cage of Survival. He says Hangman has been one of the best wrestlers since 2024, but so has everyone above him in the list. So, like, he put him 16th, but he very hard dropped to 16 for Shane. And then number 1, receiving my first place vote, Shane's 4th place vote, and your 7th place vote. So top 10 for all three of us. The Billy Goat, Will Ospreay, the Aerial Assassin, 32 years old. I think if we just did top 35 wrestlers right now, he would be towards the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just on a tear. He got 90. So he got 14 more points than Hangman.
Right.
Like, that's just how high we all put him. Just undisputedly the best under 35 right now.
And he is the highest non-WWE person on my list.
Yeah. And like I said, he was number 1 on my list. Like, he's probably my favorite wrestler right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just been so good the last few years. Another one like Rey Fenix. Like, I've been a big fan of Ospreay since he was just kind of on the New Japan mid-card, lower mid-card scene. Like the junior heavyweight scene. Same with Shane. He's loved Ospreay for even longer than I have. Like, just a guy to see him grow and to change style through injury and put on the muscle mass that he has too, and just continue to evolve his game has been incredible.
Right.
His matches with Kenny Omega is one of the best series of matches I've ever seen. Yeah, there's nobody who could have been number 1 on this list other than Will Ospreay.
I think that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah. So that is our 35 under 35. Maybe later this year we'll do like a 35 over 35 if we have a free week somewhere. But this was a really fun thing to put together, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for all of us to sit down and make our lists and to do the tiebreakers and everything. So, yeah, and I think we ended up with a great list. Like, I really love our top 10, our top 5, Tony, Swerve, Rhea, Hangman, Ospreay is pretty great. And then Braun Breaker just on the outside there. And like you said, in a year, Braun Breaker might be higher. You know, guys like Mello and Vikingo, some of those younger people on here, Roxanne could be even higher.
In a year, Braun Breaker could be world champion.
He could be. I mean, if someone came from the future right now, it's like, yeah, hey, Braun Breaker wins the Royal Rumble next year. I'd be like, yeah, yep, that's right. That makes sense.
He does the same angle as Triple H Batista, where he's like, oh, you're gonna face the other guy. We're gonna rule forever, and he's like, no. Don't think so.
Yeah, that would be good. So moving on here to we get to tape up the light tubes, take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW corner. Of course, Shane not here again, so I will be relaying the GCW corner. Where is it? Dominion reactions, GCW. Okay. This isn't GCW itself, but it's GCW adjacent. MJF will make an exclusive indie booking at Cannonball Fest, I think is what it's called. It's the benefit show to help Jeff Cannonball, Tara Calloway, and their young child after Jeff's diagnosis with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. So Jeff Cannonball apparently has been, I hadn't heard of him until recently when this all became a thing, but he's been like on the indie scene for a long time. Big hardcore wrestler on there. Do you know anything about him? No? Okay. And then let's see, Shane's highlights of the JCW show were Mad Dog and Beastman versus Bam Sullivan and Matt Tremont. The scrambling The Scramble featuring STL talent, St. Louis talent Nixie XS and Charles Mason versus Jake Parnell, formerly known as Warhorse, which is funny since all those matches have St. Louis Anarchy regulars who really need to come back to Kansas City. I think he's trying to bring some wrestling back to Kansas City. He said the road to Little Rock, and more importantly, no offense to Arkansas, KC, is almost over. Those are the next two shows, but Shane is upset because TNA pulled Mance Warner to do. They pulled Mance Warner from the GCW bookings to do TNA tapings in Pittsburgh that weekend.
Oh no!
So Shane's very upset about that. The quote here is TNA fucking pulled Mance Warner again in all caps. So I'm happy. Little Rock, we're gonna get Gary J, Adam Priest, Shotzi, Blake Christian, all announced, but not in KC. Gary J and Adam Priest should face each other in KC. That's what he wants. Action Jackson, who is currently 75 years old, is getting a world title shot against Effie in Little Rock.
75 years old.
Yep. The Kansas City show is now Glory Pro presents GCW Take a Picture, so it's in conjunction with Glory Pro, the St. Louis indie.
Okay.
Partially because Dan the Dad is getting Partially because Dan the Dad is getting his biannual parenting match against KJ Orso, formerly known as Fuego del Sol. He checked, and Manders is in Europe until July, so he won't be here. Joey Janela versus Cannonball is probably the last match announced for KC unless something comes up. So there we go. Favorite things of the week. This, of course, is the segment where I hand out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dog. Shane hands out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake. Jolka gives us a 3 count of his favorite things. What was third place for you this week?
Goldberg.
Goldberg? Pretty good. Shane gave it to Mayu Iwatani, Utami Hayashishida, and Seri Yamaoka versus Takumi Iroha, Senka Akatsuki, and Sora Ayame. That's his bronze. That is from a Japanese women's promotion. I think Marigold. I think Mayu's in Marigold. My bronze was Bandito versus the Beast Mordos from AEW. What was number 2 for you?
Probably number 2 is Ron Killings just completely blindsiding John Cena twice.
Yeah, I like that. Shane and I both gave our silver hot dog and handshake to Swerve versus Ospreay from Dynamite. It was a great match, 30-minute time limit draw. And what's number 1?
Number 1 this week, that would be the continuation of the Punk and John Cena storyline on SmackDown.
That promo almost made it for me, but my number 1 and Shane's number 1, we both gave our gold to Shingo Takagi versus Haruki Goto for the world title in New Japan.
Goldberg didn't make his top 3.
No, Goldberg didn't make his top 3. He's all in on Goldberg, but he didn't make his top 3. We'll see where that goes moving forward. Lightning round, upcoming matches that we'll see this week. So Shane just kind of gave me some that he liked. He's excited. So from the CMLL coming up this week, Bandito versus Mascara Dorada, he gave that a 10. Hologram versus Neon, he gave that an 8. From Dynamite, he gave Mark Briscoe Okada a 9. From Fantastica Mania Mexico, he gave LIJ versus United Empire 8 out of 10. Volador Jr. versus Ricochet an 8, and Bandito and Hologram versus Mystico and Mascara Dorada 10. That's my 10 of the week as well. From Stardom, he gave Sari versus Siri for the IWGP Women's title. That's his 10 of the week. And Neo Genesis versus Mi Vida Loca 8 out of 10. Wing Gory versus Natsupoi and Sayori Anao a 9 out of 10. From SmackDown, Randy versus Sami Zayn. Out of 10, how excited?
7.
7. Asuka versus Alexa Bliss.
10.
10. Cena versus Ron Killings.
10.
On Raw, Becky Lynch versus Bayley for the IC title.
1.
1, okay. And Cody versus Jay.
That's going to be sitting right at a 0 for me.
Okay. All right.
That's surprising.
That is surprising. I thought it'd be at least something, but
No.
0. All right, fair.
I'm so over Cody Rhodes' smile. It's just something about his face. You just want to punch it.
Yeah, you are where AEW fans were when he left the company.
Yeah.
So it seems like the American Nightmare gimmick only really gets you 3 years.
Yeah.
And then it starts to kind of fall apart. And people are like, all right, let's do something else here.
Right. I mean, he's not going to lose to Jey Uso. I'd be a surprise if Jey Uso beat Cody Rhodes.
I don't know if it would be a surprise. Like, okay, I don't think it would be the right choice.
Right.
But I don't, it would be a surprise from, what I think is good. But it wouldn't be a surprise based on what WWE does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked that WWE did it, but I personally would think it's the very wrong choice.
Right.
Match recommendation of the week. I kind of shouted this out earlier, but since Will Ospreay got number 1, I threw in here Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Nice.
I think that's Ospreay's best match. It was killer. That was 2 years ago, I think, 2023. So, and then classic reviews. If you want to listen to more of us, we do a classic review every week. Last week, to celebrate Friday the 13th, we did Judgment Day 05, which is John Cena's greatest bloodbath. And then this week, ROH Man Up from 2007. The main event is Kevin Steen and El Generico, now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, versus the Briscoes in a ladder match.
Oh, wow.
So a ladder war is what they call it in Ring of Honor. So check that out if you want to listen to that. We just did that one for fun because it's one we've been trying to do for years, and we finally found it. We also have WCW, WWE, ECW, other New Japan and Ring of Honor, and TNA reviews on the channel if you want to go check those out. We got Night of Champions coming up, Tanahashi Jam, Supercard of Honor, All In, all kinds of stuff coming up from the world of wrestling. So remember to enjoy wrestling. All right, Chad, we're done.
Yeah, a promoter friend of mine back east, he goes, what would it take for you to wrestle again? I was like, Rob Van Dam. You make that happen? Is he?
Yeah, Rob Van Dam, all fucking 60 years older than or whatever.
Jesus.